At tonight will be our open forum and then go right into the topics that I had sent out, which I'm hoping people took a few minutes to look through, and we can choose some things we'd like to discuss for this evening. With that being said, who'd like to open up the floor with the first question of a PC and Windows preferably, and not Linux or Unix or any derivative of that? A question for the evening.
Did you mean from your list?
No, this is just general PC related questions like how do I make my camera work on my thing? And my computer is running Windows X and it has to be Windows 11 in so many days. What am I going to do? I don't know. Whatever questions pop in your head. None. Oh, this is a tough crowd here. Did anybody get anything new these days? Again, this is always another good question. Pete, what is going on in your systems out there?
What's going on? One's down. The one at the school's okay. That's a Windows 11.
Okay.
That's almost brand new. It's one of the little baby boxes.
Right.
Brand new. That one's working okay. This Windows 10 over here is still hanging in here well. That's what we're talking on right now.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, are you going to upgrade that one to 11?
I don't think it can. I'd have to go through an unsupported.
Got it.
So my wife has got an 11 here.
Right. I remember Tim has some techniques on side loading, but Windows 11 onto a machine that's not supposed to get it. And he has had various good luck with that process. However, I did see some articles posted that were stating that Windows is going after this. And I don't know any more than that. If anyone would like to elaborate on this.
Well, I don't have my hands on it right now, but I have seen where Microsoft has a posting, lots of warnings in it, but basically they're allowing people to do the unsupported because of the graph of Windows 10 installations versus 11 installations. And right at the moment, there's a small dip in the progress of 11.
So I'm actually thinking I'm going to leave this one alone. It's going on 7. Let's see. Yeah, 7 years now, which is relatively new, but it's a Ryzen 7. And I may actually get another one of those small boxes for this.
Which series of Ryzen?
Damn, you're going to make me put on my glasses again.
Hell yes.
The Ryzen 7.
Well, what series?
I don't know. I bought it at Costco.
That's not what I'm asking.
I know that.
Is it a 1,000? Is it a 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, and God knows what's after that?
So,
Good choice there, Dennis. Going once, going twice.
Okay, let me.
Well, he doesn't know. So he's got a Ryzen box there. It's a little mini one, right?
No, this is a big one.
It's a big one.
This
Okay.
is a big one.
But the little one you got for the school is a Ryzen also, right?
No, it isn't. That's an Intel.
Okay.
Just call up the Windows system info. You can even type that in search box system.
Ryzen 1700.
There you have it.
Okay, that one won't make it to 7, but there's a outside chance you can change the processor to a 2000, but you'll probably also need a BIOS update in order to get the TPM functionality because it's built into the chip.
Ah, it's built
So
into the
it's
Ryzen
cheaper for
chips?
me to just get a $400 box.
Go for it.
What?
I said go for it. And have a brand new one when it comes to the point.
Would you be considering any used business class machines?
Possibly. I don't know what my budget's going to be at that point in time.
Bob,
And
why do you bring that up?
What?
Bob, why do you bring up business class machines, used ones?
as Tim can explain much better than I can, there are two classes, basic classes of PCs.
Yes.
There's the consumer grade, which tends to have a lot of stuff in plastic and it tends to have relatively low end components. Although there is a gamer class which is separate. But there also are business class machines that are built more resilient. They're built to last longer. They use higher quality components, and they're meant for heavier use.
And consumer class only gets updates from the manufacturer for a maximum of 5 years. Business class, I've got a old machine here that's more than 5 years old, and this evening here early on, I got a BIOS update, which you will not see in consumer class.
That's what I'm using, Dell Business Class.
Yeah, length of
With
support.
M memory chips.
What kind of memory?
What's it, M1 or M7?
Oh, M2,
Oh,
M2 that's his
M-
storage.
That's
Yeah.
storage,
SSD.
not RAM.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
okay.
memory, yeah.
Right.
Memory would be like 4 gigs, 8 gigs, 12 gigs, 16 gigs,
Right.
20, 24, 32. Height.
Okay, hold
And
relax, Tim.
that's
Yeah,
another that's another good point because it does come with more memory being a business class machine, more RAM.
right. So your RAM is how much operating space you have, and your storage is storage. That's your M2 is actually your SSD, your storage device for long-term.
This is the second time I've done it, but what's interesting too, because it comes with a CD reader or DVD rather,
Mm-hmm.
and it also comes with speakers built in, and of course it uses the either HDMI or what's the other one that's called a video?
There is DVI, there is VGA.
No, there's one more.
Display port.
That's it.
Display port. Yes.
Display port.
Display port and HDMI are similar, but the display port tends to be better if you can use it in the video quality than HDMI.
And that's what and you can get the monitors too on these machines were like, under a 3-year, lease. They come off lease.
Well, usually most businesses will keep machines business class up to 5 years. Then
Yeah.
they get sold to a variety of people who sell them on like eBay and other places, besides brick and mortar shops to local people. But generally speaking, um, I'd say a third of my machines, maybe up to half of my machines, are business class.
And all I'm saying is it's an affordable alternative to buying
Yeah.
something new but cheap.
Very affordable. I paid $200.
You'd be getting a better computer, provided it can still keep up with the requirements for
So
Windows
is there a
11.
suggestion where to go to find these retired business class machines that are
I just
Windows
stated
11 compatible?
Dell website.
Dell. Okay.
you've got eBay galore. There are vendors out the wazoo. You just have to make sure that if it's an Intel processor, that it is 8th gen or better. In Ryzen, it gets a little cloudy, uh, but some of the machines can handle 11 also.
Well,
Yeah,
I want it to come to me 11 done. I don't want to go through the trouble of installing 11.
Well, you want to
I-
immediately go for, you want to buy a machine that already has 11 in built in.
Correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's nothing wrong with
Or
that.
well,
You should be able to get that.
Yeah.
Well, the one I bought before this, the 11 wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
But I was able to upgrade it, but you don't get all the 11 features.
Right.
You are running 11, but you don't get all those extra functions that, come with 11, but you still run 11.
Is that what they call those, that stuff in 11 where it pops up ads? They call those features?
Well, when you see well, if you read 11 over 10, it'll tell you things that you can do that you couldn't do in 10.
Hmm.
I don't remember them because I don't use them.
I can tell you I upgraded my NUC from Windows 10. I think it was 22H2 at the time, or 20. No, it was 21. 21H2. I upgraded to Windows 11 and brought that to 22H2.
Yeah, me too.
And it's on 23H2 and it's doing just fine. It gets all the features, even though
Yeah.
it was an upgrade.
My new one, of course, does 24, but the old one won't do 24, but it will do 23. But one of the things that I wanted to mention to you, Bob, because you had suggested, I was telling you that I'm a fan of watching how the universe works. And I recorded, I filled up my DVR, I got 90 recordings.
Mm.
And anyway, so you suggested contact the library. So I contacted my Troy library, and she said, "Oh yeah," she said, "Go to Google." So
YouTube?
they're all on Google.
On YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. That's right. I should have said YouTube. Yeah,
Well, yeah, that's another good place to get things
but
if you just want to view it.
well, that's what I wanted to ask about downloading it. And if you subscribe to YouTube, can you download those? Is it downloading it for your own use still forbidden or not?
For legal purposes, I'm not allowed to say that you can or you can't because I'm not a lawyer.
Okay.
You really almost have to be these days with YouTube. Some channels do allow it, some don't.
Well, I know years ago you used to, and then I always thought there was some hacking software that allowed you to do it.
There are ways of downloading, whether they want you to or not, and that's what I'm not allowed to discuss.
Right. No, I understand that.
Bob is being very guarded and
I
cautious.
didn't hear anything from you, Bob.
Well, Bob is not telling you, but we will say in unison as a group probably there are programs out there like 4K video downloader or YouTube downloader or some permutation of names like that where it happens real easily. They will pull down the lower quality content. You may not get the 1080p or the 2K or 4K version of it.
Oh, I see.
But you could probably get the 720p version of it or whatever they're offering through those apps without a paid function. But you can download that stuff and watch it on your own device for personal consumption. I guess it's the same way as watching it on YouTube, kind of, although you're not getting the ads that YouTube would be throwing at you.
This is where I'm just saying I'm not a lawyer. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you're not a lawyer, and we're not showing you how to do this, but there, in the past there probably were some videos that we have that showed you how to, use those type of programs. They're real easy, to use.
Well, if you give advice and you're not a lawyer, you won't lose your license.
Yeah.
Carl, and just to be clear for this meeting, I take the Fifth Amendment.
There are channels that are available for fair use.
Yeah.
But there are other videos that will say right under the video that they have copyright restrictions.
Well, what's exciting about this whole thing is based on our Tech for Seniors meeting on Monday, that those videos have indexing. Now, Google provides that software that does indexing and chapters, summary. I mean, that's fantastic because that's exactly what I want. I have all these videos, but I want to do searches. Like there's several videos talking about how our solar system, the sun is getting hotter every 10 degrees every 5 billion years. People say 5 billion years. Yeah, we're almost 5 billion years old. 10 degrees every year means we're 50 degrees hotter than we were, several billion years ago. And then they're saying in 100,000 years, which you and I don't have to worry about, uh, it's going to be so hot it's going to consume Earth and our inner planets, and it's going to be all over.
Look at
But-
the video. Watch the videos and find out how long it really is. It's a lot
It's
longer.
more than 100,000 years. It's more like billions of
Well,
years down the line.
it's a difference without a distinction. Whether it's 1,000 years or another billion years, it's not going to matter to you or me.
Or 5 or 6 billion. But
Well,
anyway,
some of us 50 years won't make a difference.
yeah.
Well, I'll be 86 in April, so I think it's less for me.
So you wanted to have this discussion in the pre-meeting before the recorder goes on.
But it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen. So,
But we're allowed to mention 4K video.
again, you can do this stuff because the software is out there. To whether it's legal or not, we're not telling you it is, but you can do this. It is available. Bert.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that if you pull up on YouTube a video from something going on, if you right click on it while it's already in the video, you can copy the URL and save that in whether it's OneNote or a document. So then you can go back and click on that URL and watch that program at a later time without having to have saved it in your own computer.
Yeah, as long as it stays on YouTube.
Yeah.
And a lot of videos stay a long time.
But I mean, isn't that how we copy links and send them to other people from YouTube? I mean,
Yeah.
Links are reasonable. You can do those.
yeah. I got a side question. Am I the only one that tried to log in on Central Time when it's Eastern Time? In other words, I tried to get in here at 7 o'clock and I said, "What is show canceled today? What's going on?"
7 Eastern.
Yeah.
Oh,
Am I the only one that does it?
I think so
I
because
do it more than once and I don't learn.
Harry Hauser and Bob Premick are both Eastern Time Zone.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm Hawaii Standard.
doesn't it say Central
Boy.
Time? Am I?
It does.
It does, but well, I'm looking at your well, yes, it does in small print, but not real small. But no, what happens is what I did from here on, is this monthly or weekly? Which is it? The meetings.
There are several meetings per month. Tips and tricks is once a month.
But each of the
Okay.
meetings are once a month.
Okay, so
Correct.
what I did in my calendar, I put after the time, I put my time, but I put Eastern time, ET,
Okay.
So a reminder that I need to tune in. The time I'm showing is my time.
Right. Harry?
I just wanted to mention on the question originally of refurbished. There's a company that's been around for quite a while online called Newegg, one word, Newegg. I bought over the years a number of refurbished units. I haven't purchased anything that has 11 on it. So Tim's warning that you check the specs if it's 10 so that you know you will be able to upgrade to 11. But I'm sure by now, and certainly by October, they'll have units that have 11 on them. And they're pretty much in every price range.
Yeah, and Dell has its own refurbs.
Right. Newegg is Harry, that's good that you brought that up. That is a reputable company. I've been dealing with them for 15 years that I've been buying stuff from them. I would absolutely suggest that company. Micro Center is another reliable place if you have any near you, or you could go online and order stuff from
Now,
Micro
people
Center.
should, I'm sorry to interrupt you, people should know, however, that that's a platform. In maybe a third of the cases, you're buying it from Newegg. In maybe
Right.
2/3, you're buying it through Newegg, but from some other company. Just so
The
that
one
you,
thing that's a caveat on buying anything online, specifically hardware, computer related, anything I would suggest, deal with a reputable company and one that charges you, that offers free returns.
Is a question, is Newegg the company that used to have retail outlets many years, like 25 years ago, and then they went online only, one of the first?
I think
That
you're,
was
I think
Tiger Direct.
that
Oh,
or
no,
Fry.
no, there was something egg, it was an egg name in it, but I don't remember exactly.
Don't remember.
Yes, Newegg used to have Egghead, I guess,
Egghead.
Ah,
Okay,
had retail stores.
yeah, okay. And then they went just online only. They were one of the first to do it, I thought. I don't know if they're still around.
No.
Micro Center was an early adopter of the online
Yeah.
because they used to be a catalog or used to call in. I used to buy diskettes from them, floppy drives and floppy disks from them way back when decades ago.
Even Walmart has a used computer section.
Hmm, there you go.
I think that's online only though.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
And it
yeah.
not in the
depends on what your
stores.
budget is.
More and more of everything's online with Walmart and others. It's not bad though, because or they have things online they don't ever carry in the store, and they have free shipping often from Walmart.
It might be good to mention that because of the looming tariffs that are coming down the pipeline, you would be best off to invest in your hardware sooner than later. Just a suggestion.
There
Um,
also may be companies that will find ways to work around the countries that are slapped with the heaviest tariffs.
Uh,
I and in
Sure.
fact, companies like Nvidia, for example, they have an Arizona plant too, so they can claim that it's U.S.
well, the other thing there with China is that you have to delineate between mainland China, Hong Kong, which is now under the control of mainland China, and Taiwan, which is national. They are not the communists, so they don't have the tariff that I know
There is a tariff being proposed for Taiwan,
of. Okay.
but it's not anything like what they're proposing for mainland China.
I'm glad before Biden's inflation, I bought 4 cases of eggs. They're still in my garage.
I bought eggs 2 weeks ago. They were sky high. This week, they're almost back to what they were before.
We're way
Anyway,
up, we're way off.
PCs.
Off
PCs, not
topic,
eggs.
off topic, off
Wrong
topic.
egg.
Wrong egg.
Well, we were talking about egg computers before.
Right, this is true. And if anyone wants to talk about things being expensive, just talk to Pete. He could tell you how expensive things are out in Hawaii, even before any tariffs or any egg problems existed. He was
You-
already paying nine
You are
hundred dollars
limited to
for.
one package of eggs here at Costco.
Yeah.
One package.
Yeah.
If they're in.
On the main.
For ice cream.
Yeah, for ice cream.
For ice cream. For
Mm.
Costco branded ice cream, we waited 3 weeks.
Oh, you waited 3 weeks for Costco ice cream.
Wow. Okay, so let's move
Okay.
on to some good
Okay, so
topics here.
one quick thing.
What's that?
For the people that are having time zone troubles, click on your clock and add additional clocks to your system clock
Yeah.
for the different time zones, and then you can just click on your clock and you can see where you are in relative to Eastern time zone or Hawaii Standard or Central, and it'll pop it up and you can see where you are. That's what I do.
You know, Carl, you got a small world problem there. Pete's over on the Pacific. He's out in the ocean. He's in so many different time zones away from us. His clock can't even register it. So
It's Greenwich Standard Time plus 11.
Point well taken. Point well taken. But it doesn't help me figure out what day it is.
okay.
That's a different problem.
Just one more thing about whether you should buy now or later. I remember there are going to be a lot of Windows 10 non-upgradable computers that are going to go onto the market. But if you're really looking for something that'll have 11 on it, there might even be some of those hanging around that people didn't realize could be upgraded.
Right.
Those Windows 10s will make good Linux boxes.
Yes, they will.
Okay, does anyone else have any computer-related problems, situations that we would like to discuss in our open forum? No. Okay, I sent out a list to everybody, or it was sent out in the email. I will add that I've just added a few extras, and I will share my screen so you can see the few that I just threw in. Let's see, the first three are new ones that I just threw in. Best free software, photo editing. I just heard about this one. I did not look at it yet. And then how to remove Windows 11 news and weather widget. Does anything here tickle your fancy as things we could talk about tonight, gentlemen?
That was that's the first email, right?
Yeah, if people want to remove the Windows 11 news and weather widget, that would be an interesting one.
Yeah, okay.
I just saw this afternoon a tool that I'll probably bring up in the Southside meeting that debloats the Windows and allows you at the same time to install programs that you want on your system if they're not already there.
Okay, so if we right click on the Windows taskbar, thank you for that ad. We now know what's going to happen at South Suburban, which will be what, in 2 weeks?
No, 2 years.
Next week.
2
Okay.
years.
In 2 years.
In 2 years.
Okay, so if we right click on the taskbar, I got to get that taskbar to show up. And I got to right click. And of course, you can't see it because everything. Taskbar settings. Go to taskbar settings menu. Of course, I can't read next. Click on the, okay, click on the widget toggle to disable, enable news, weather, widgets.
Yeah.
Widgets? What the heck? Where'd it go?
Need to go to the taskbar.
Vacation.
Go back down to the taskbar? It just disappeared on me. Was
All
that
right.
me?
I think it's under taskbar settings.
Oh, okay. I went over here to widgets and I think it just moved immediately.
And there's a slider.
Oh, there is. Okay. I can't see it.
Personalization, arrow, taskbar.
Got it. It says
Taskbar items.
widgets is turned on. You could turn it off. And then where's the one for? That's it. That's all it lets you do?
Yeah, if you really want to remove it, you have to go into the registry.
Well, because it says here, widgets enable, disable, but it doesn't say news and weather. It just says weather.
Yes.
Fine-tune widgets, you'll see the menu settings. Fine-tune widgets.
Well, the thing that I'll have for next week is it'll take out widgets altogether because a lot of people are not using widgets at all.
Well, let's show what's a widget.
A widget is like back in Windows Vista, and they might be clocks that are on your desktop
All right,
and
can you
other.
guys see can you see my taskbar?
Yes.
Okay, so which of these are widgets? Well,
The
look
one
to the
over
left.
there where it says cloudy, 27 degrees Fahrenheit,
Okay,
that's a weather widget. Right click
cloudy.
no, go over further. Oh, back to the right, a little more. Right click. Oh, not that.
Empty spot
No.
on your taskbar.
Empty spot on my taskbar.
Yeah.
Okay,
And right click it.
right click.
Okay, now go to taskbar settings.
That's where I was.
All right. Right there, it says widgets on.
Yeah. Right.
Say widgets off and see what
Okay.
happens.
All right.
Yeah, the other thing that widgets will do, it will periodically pop up news stories and periodically do other notifications. And that's what's bothering some people, myself included.
Well, there's another thing on this same page here. At the,
Wait, hold on. I turned it off, but I didn't see anything happen.
it got rid of your weather widget because all widgets are now off. Now,
Okay, got rid of my weather. Where
Right.
was my weather displayed?
On
weather,
the taskbar,
Down in the task.
you're right here.
there, right hand corner, you no longer have something saying weather.
Okay.
And
So
you don't have it on your
turn that
taskbar.
I'm gonna
It was
turn that
showing
back
right
on.
there.
And if it's on again, check your taskbar.
And there it is again.
Ah,
There's your weather.
got it. On the far left, it's over
Now,
there. Got it.
one other thing. You've got
Oh, right left.
in that taskbar personalization, at the top you have search box. So you have a long rectangle on your taskbar to type into. I turn mine to icon only. It looks like a magnifying glass, and I can still do the internal searches.
Okay.
Number 3, as a tidbit, you can also, if you got an SSD, there is the Windows search feature in services that can be turned off. And that gives you performance back.
Oh, okay. We're s-
You
say,
you
where am I
can't.
looking for this one?
If you want to go to it, you have to go down to your little search box on the taskbar.
I'm there.
Okay, type in what the heck was it now? Services. And
Got it. Okay.
okay, now you X out of that and do it again, and don't hit the enter key until I tell you something. Now, when you hit the enter key before, you did not have the ability to do anything but read the services. You could not make any changes. To do the services, you have to be an administrator. Hold down the control key, the shift key, then hit enter and put in your administrator's password. Now go down to the W's, all the way down just about to the end. And you'll find one that says Windows Services. Search. Windows Search, right there. Yeah. Double click that. And this is the properties. Now you have to hit on stop here. You can't do any other change yet. No, do what I said. Hit stop.
Hey.
That's mandatory. Then you go to the startup type. Now you can change that to disable.
Okay.
Now apply. Click OK, X out.
All right, so what did you say this will speed up?
It'll slow down your Windows search a little bit, but if you're on an SSD, who cares? SSDs are 10 times faster than a spinning hard drive.
Right. But
Well-
why would I want to turn off this setting? What did it do for me?
Because you're not A, loading the service when you boot up your system, B, it's not running, taking up CPU cycles and memory at the same time, indexing all your content that it's trying to index to give you a speedier response on a spinning hard drive.
Got it.
The other thing about an SSD is why you don't want indexing is it uses up rewrite cycles,
That's right.
which puts wear on it.
And this little thing, I think in your Windows Server that you still have, you can probably turn it off there because you were using an SSD.
Got it.
There's a bunch of settings that are originally made for spinning hard drives. Around 2019, the newer versions of Windows output turn that stuff off, assuming that everybody is going to have an SSD. Now, anything that's older than that is using several services that will reduce the lifespan of your SSD because of all the rewriting.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. All right. Someone like to pick up another topic?
Are you open for a new question?
Always.
All right, so
11 ways to improve Windows boot time.
Okay, but Carl's going to ask us a question, and then
All right.
we're going to go to
What-
that one.
one of the things I noticed when I upgraded my Windows is that 365, of course, they're changing the name all the time, Office 365 or whatever it's called, Windows 365, I guess. It's no longer in my tray, on the bottom. And somebody said that I had to, I use it in the cloud. But when I go to save like a chat or something, I can't bring up, I have to open up Microsoft 365, and then search for Word and then open up Word and then I could save it. Previously, I would have Word as a icon in my, that's the tray, the bottom row. Isn't that the tray? Is that called the tray in the bottom?
Yes.
Okay. So somebody said that you had to install 365 on your computer.
No, you're not supposed to have to. And one of these days, you're not going to have on the computer because they're going to stop doing it. Now, when that's going to happen, we don't know. Okay?
Well,
But
the question is, Tim, how do I get putting Word on my tray so I don't have to open up, just in other words, a shortcut, I guess.
you can try clicking on Word with a right click, and you may have to go down to show all options, and you may have an option to taskbar. I do not have Microsoft 365, so I can't. I gotta go by. Bert might be able to tell you too. He's got it.
Well, I've tried it several ways. It's been a while now, at least 6 months, and I don't remember. But I tried dragging it and right clicking.
No, you can't drag it. No. You
well,
have
I'm
to-
saying I've tried everything I thought I could do.
You have to right click on the icon for the program and see if you've got taskbar pinning. Bert.
I had no pinning on there. Well, I'll do it.
I think the answer that you're looking for is, first of all, we've got the start window that has all the icons listed. If you put Word, Excel, PowerPoint on that start menu, and then if the icon's on there, you can right-click it and pin to taskbar.
Okay, I'll
But
try that.
like I said, in 11, you don't see the pin to taskbar option until
That's
you go down the list to the bottom one that says show all of the settings. Then in
All
the
right.
new list, you'll get pin to taskbar.
But if you put it on the start button window that has the icons on it, from there you can pin it to the taskbar.
Yes, that is a right-click option. I just checked.
Okay, I'm opening it up now, and I see Word, and I'm going to right click on it, and it says Open in Browser.
No. Go down to the bottom of the list, show all icons.
Oh,
Or show all programs?
Show all
I see.
programs.
All programs.
Well, settings, actually, it is.
Yeah.
Show all settings.
Okay, I got settings and more. Is mine.
Okay, now you've got go down the list and you'll probably see one that says pin to taskbar.
No, pin to start. Then
And
taskbar.
yeah, pin to start, and then there's more, and more includes pin to taskbar and app settings
Right.
Well,
for anything that lives in the cloud.
well, I clicked on the settings and more,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see a more. I see settings again. Let me try that.
You know what? He can share his desktop and we can see what he's doing.
Well,
Okay, I did settings the second time, and I do see Word now as an icon.
And then right
I
click it,
me-
and it'll give you a chance to pin it to the taskbar.
It's open in browser again.
You didn't right click, you left click.
No, I right clicked.
You got to see all the settings to get to the option pin to
Okay,
taskbar.
well, let me go back to settings, settings and more. So it comes up with a menu.
New
Settings,
list.
help, feedback, my benefits, meet now.
You'll go down the list. Somewhere about the middle of the list is pin to taskbar.
My list is very short. It's only 5 items. Settings, help.
Have you clicked on the start button, the Windows start button?
Oh, Windows Start button. Okay.
And you get this box that comes up with all the pictures of the icons.
No, just Microsoft 365 called Copilot or something.
Go all the way
You
down.
haven't pinned those other things to start yet.
Why don't we have him share his desktop?
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
Down at the bottom of in Zoom, on the Zoom taskbar,
Okay.
you'll see in the very middle should be a green button, should say share with an upward arrow on it. See it?
Okay, well, I have the start, I have the Windows key, then I have search. Am I in the right menu or am
No,
I?
I'm talking
no,
about
it's a
something
Zoom.
different.
It's a
Oh,
Zoom
no, I'm
feature.
in the, okay, I'm not in the Zoom. I see share now. I got it.
Yeah. So when you hit share,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to show your desktop in the far upper left. Click on that one. Say share screen.
Okay. I'm seeing the Zoom window there. Maybe it's one on the right, maybe.
Did you? Okay, you hit share, right? And a new
Yeah.
dialog box. There
There
we
we
go.
go.
All right.
There we go.
I hit share twice. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm in there. All right. So if I go here, you can see that, right?
All right. Yeah.
Five options.
Bob?
No,
Primac,
you're in
tell 'em what to do.
setting. No, you're in the wrong thing here on the settings.
All right. Let me do this.
Just close that window.
Okay.
Carl,
Yeah.
down near the center, just to the left of search, is something
Uh-huh.
that looks like the Windows logo. That's
Yeah.
what Bert was talking about. Just
Okay.
click on that. That brings up all apps.
Okay, I did that, and then there's my Microsoft 365. It doesn't have Word in there. I have to open that.
Hit all.
I go up to all in the upper right of the menu,
Oh, okay, I didn't, never
and
knew.
it'll show you all your programs.
Oh,
Now
okay.
you scroll down to Word, which is way down there.
Yeah, okay.
Although it might be under M for Microsoft.
I think they moved it under, go to Word. Go all the way down.
Oh, all the way down, okay. Well, if this works, I'm gonna have to pay the big bucks to renew my membership.
Word isn't there, so it must be under Microsoft 365.
It
Right.
is, and
It's
of
under
course
Microsoft 365,
M.
but that is not a
What's
folder. It's going to open it just
It's
like
gonna-
he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, open up,
Right click when you
right
see
click
it.
there.
okay.
You see pin to start?
It says unpin from start.
So it's already on at the start.
Well,
Look at-
360, no, 360.
Look
Go
at
to
the-
more. Go to more.
Look at more.
Okay,
More.
And there's unpin from the taskbar because you already pinned it down there. That's why you got two items that are on the taskbar. One
Okay.
as that. Now, click Microsoft 365 Copilot. Click it to open it. All right,
Okay.
now hang loose for a minute, will you?
Left-hand side Word. Right or left click on it.
I'll
Yes,
do a
right click on it. It's
Right-
open in browser. That's all it has.
Okay.
No,
No, that wasn't what he wanted you to do.
right click in Word over here on the left column.
Okay.
Right click, yeah. Open new
Open
tab.
new
No, don't want to do that.
Okay.
They're doing some strange things. Go down to that little gearbox. That's
And it could be
settings.
because this is web-based only.
And let's see now. Settings. Go to settings. Top in. Come on. Where are you at?
Maybe I had to double click it. Let's see.
Jeez. It only gives you one thing. Dark mode or not dark mode. And other third-party notices. And that's it.
I'm gonna double click on it here and see what happens.
I got a better idea. You're not going to get that.
That didn't.
Close your browser for the time being. Yeah, close that. Close that there.
Yeah.
And close your browser for the, well, just minimize it. Minimize it so we don't see it. No, that's maximize. But anyway, never mind. Okay, now we have also this open. So close that. X out of it. Go down to the Start button for Windows 11. Click it. Now,
Do you have more items listed that you need to scroll down to on this list?
Well, there's
See,
more.
yeah, he
after the
does.
three
Right
lines,
here, see
there's a
the little-
scroll down.
no, that's recent activity and recommended stuff. Hit the back button. Right
You
here.
see, there's a little icon
Little, no,
next to
right.
the third,
Wait a
the
minute.
second row.
Bert, I know what you're going for, Bert. On the right side of the pinned section are two little dots. Go down one dot. Click it. Okay, you don't have anything down there. That's how you scroll up and scroll down that.
Oh, okay, that's good information.
Let's see now. At the moment,
When you,
I
okay, so I guess the real question is, do you have Microsoft Office or do you just have the web version?
I just have, well, when I upgraded Windows 11, I used to have it on my desktop. And then now it's only in the cloud. And I don't know, maybe when I signed up for 365 or for Copilot, I think it was even before that. I could never get it locally. It's in the
Boy,
cloud.
you got it. Hey,
Hey.
good one.
I'm paying for the
Terry
Copilot.
mute. Terry Moy mute.
Yes.
Terry Moy mute
Yes.
your Zoom.
Yes, I'm Zoom.
I'll mute him.
Here.
Please
I
continue.
got your laptop.
Well, it was somebody on Tech for Seniors. I thought it was Huey said, then I could be mistaken. I'm just guessing here. That said that you have to go and install 365 on your local machine.
Right.
Yes, there does have to be a locally installed app. However, if you open the cloud-based app, it may
Yeah.
put an icon temporarily on your taskbar.
Well, it
You
puts,
can always right-click on that icon
well,
and pin it.
you're sort of right. It puts the 365 on there.
Then you can pin that.
Well, yeah, I did. And then you have to open up 365, and then you have to go and open up Word, and I'm trying to avoid that. That's all. I like to copy chat. I use Control
Yeah.
A, Control C, and then I try to. Before I used to, the Word would be in the tray. I'd click on tray to open Word, and it would be on OneDrive, and I would save it, in the cloud. But now I
I
have to.
think if you go to your Microsoft account, you
Mhm.
should see in that section where it'll give you the chance to download the Office software.
Well, where's my
Yeah.
Microsoft account? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, you have an email.
Yeah, I don't use Microsoft. I use Gmail.
No, but you have a Microsoft account.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's the one you got to open up that he's talking about.
That's,
But I mean, if I go down here and say Microsoft, this is what I get. I got,
Do you see the little circle at the very top left of that window? Doesn't
Oh.
that have your initials?
uh,
The blue circle?
am I in the right? I see all.
Click it.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, it says all. Okay. Well, it wants me to click the arrow.
I think you have to open up. Do you have a Microsoft account? You don't have one?
No, I do. I have a password, and I mean, I have to. I have Copilot, and I'm paying $20 a month for it.
Nicole, you know, on the fence.
Number.
Huh?
I mean, I've always had Word,
I don't think you have it installed
I
on
buy
this
the
machine.
family Word. I've been Word ever since they started doing that about 10 years ago. 'Cause
Well, you have to go to the Microsoft account and download it from there.
well,
You're paying for it, but I
know,
don't
but
know if it's installed.
I'm too ignorant to understand how to do that. I mean, I'll type in Microsoft account and see what happens.
does anyone know how to tell him
Go
how
to
to get
open up Microsoft Edge.
I think to open it up now that I think it's Microsoft.com as the account, or that's how you access it, right? Doesn't that make sense?
Yes.
Microsoft.com.
If you're signed in.
Well, I should be signed in automatically.
Gotta go in a browser, so he has to use Edge to get there.
Oh, is that right? Well, I'm default Google, but let's see what happens. There's Microsoft. Right there.
All right, and in the top left corner of that window, you see the circle
Suggested sites. Oh,
at
way
the
up.
very top. There, click,
That's personal. That's me. Yeah,
click.
I did.
Somewhere it should get you to,
Let me blow this up. That's me personal. There's my email, Gmail. I don't know what the points are for. 15,000.
that has to do with using
Hit the
Copilot.
gear on there where personal is, hit the gear on the right hand side of that box.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, manage account. Okay, well, this is something that I have not tried. Okay, this looks interesting.
Okay, we're going to get all your good personal information here now.
Well, then you'll be one of a million that know.
Well, yeah, now if this gets posted on YouTube, it'll be 2 million.
Okay, so
Maybe it's manage account.
where's manage account?
There should be subscriptions.
Oh, I see it right
Somewhere
there.
it should be subscriptions.
No, I just clicked on manage account. Let's see what happens. Either awfully slow or I didn't do something right. Oh, there it is. It's coming up.
Now you got subscriptions.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh.
So I got 365 family. And is there maybe a way of saying installing it locally? Let's see. You see my devices.
Manage it.
Just manage, yeah.
Manage.
I'm really impressed because there's no way I would have gotten this far, guys. Okay.
Install Microsoft 365 apps for your devices.
I'm looking for the word install.
Go down about right to the right of your mouse. Down one right there. There.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And installs on the other side.
Let me see what.
Click on the blue.
I just want to see what.
There you go.
There you go. It's going to install. You hit install.
This should install it locally then, you think?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. I may have to log back to the meeting. It's probably gonna want me to do a restart. Hopefully. Well, if this works, I'm gonna up my membership for sure.
Or you can give us extra.
Yeah,
I think you need to hit save on downloads.
You know, you can always give us more money than your minimum.
I know, and I'm not disinclined to do that. Let's see where's somewhere here.
We are cheaper than
You have to now go to your downloads folder
we're
and
cheaper than
install
Geek
it because
Squad.
there's an exe.
Oh, okay. There is a
downloads.
There you go.
open office.
It's still
setup.
loading.
There's office setup exe.
That's the one.
All right, I may go bye-bye.
It may reboot, it may not.
Yeah, I'll log back in if I lose it. But then
Honestly, it shouldn't have to
It'll work.
reboot, but it might.
but let me ask you the next step is, so then now that it's on my local machine, I should be able to go up to the Word and right click and pin it and those kind of things.
You
Yeah.
should have separate icons for all those 6 things.
Yeah, it looks like it's
And they'll
Please
be in
stay
the
online.
sub-menu. Then you can go in the all items
yeah, you can see the time
in the
bar
site.
come up here, right? It's
Yeah.
right there. It's just starting.
It's downloading right now. It's
Yeah.
take a while.
Well, let's go on with the meeting. I'll just monitor.
Okay, you got to stop sharing your desktop.
Okay, where do I do that again? Back at
Up at the top should be a big red button box up there that says stop sharing.
Got it.
There you go.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. You learned something new today, Carl.
Yeah, I did. I should have been recording it, but that's okay. As long
Oh,
as
that's okay.
Come back to here.
Well, the key for me is that it can be done. I mean
Right.
that's and there's a process, so that's the main thing.
Now, Carl, you brought up a point. Maybe I'll have to apprise everybody that these meetings are generally recorded and they are posted onto our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and search for the Chicago Computer Society, you'll be able to find our entire page, our channel that has almost 200.
Even the sharing and all that.
Yep, you can just go there and watch the videos. You could see any of the parts on there. It's all open, available to the public and stuff like that.
Sanford?
If you need a link to it, there is a link that's provided in every one of our meeting emails, our meeting notification emails that will send you to our YouTube page or channel. So you could go and follow those links. And I encourage you to subscribe. If you are not a subscriber, please.
This will be my third renewal, but what I wanted, I tried to renew I think in January, and the PayPal wasn't there, and I think Tim said that he was going to check into that. But I thought you guys sent out a notice in March, is it? When did you do that?
September, I think it is. August.
Well, somebody said they were going to send one out, and I had requested joint renewing before they sent out a notice. Was that you? Somebody responded to me.
That would have been Beata, so basically, when your renewal time comes up, she sends a bill to you. We had a problem using PayPal at the time, so people were sending checks in instead. And now I believe PayPal is back up and for us, and we can you can use
Was it a
PayPal
case
to
I
pay.
just have to wait to get the renewal notice?
No. You don't. You could renew at any time. I will say the PayPal on the website is down. I checked it just the other day. Beata had notified me that it wasn't working. All the links had broken again. So PayPal must be doing some funky things that they keep breaking our links on us.
Well, good.
I'll get back in there this week and do what I can to repair the links on the website for PayPal.
Right, I'll do it after the show, yeah.
Right. But if anything, you could just contact Beata and send payment to her. She'd love it if you send her a couple of extra $100 in there that will help us keep going for another year or two. That would be great. So feel free to give extra, give often.
Be aware that if you do send a check, we have a new address.
Right, and it is on our email.
That's what prompted me to log in, and then I was the one that pointed out that you gave the new address, but you didn't update your webpage.
That's correct, and that page has been updated with the new addresses. Hey, Carl, we're volunteers here. We don't get paid. We got nobody as our boss except for you guys. We do the best we can. We're just.
I like hanging around with all you youngsters.
Okay, but we are volunteers, so things still take us some time to get things done.
No problem. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Tim got me hooked, joining in that first place, so he deserves original credit.
My remark was going to be, you guys actually have a website and it's up and running now?
No.
Just one page.
Or there are some pages that are running. Okay.
There are pages that most of the main part of the website does run. It's the members section that we were never able to really get to function properly.
Oh.
Our calendar is not functioning properly. We have to get back into that. And then we get these things where they'll do an update and then the links break and we have to go back and redo the links, what I'm going to have to do to get PayPal working again. So
but
that being said,
on the webpage, there's an icon for jumping to YouTube for our meetings. So
yes,
that's always available.
Yes. So
FYI, shrink Zoom, and I'm not even halfway downloading.
Well, it gives you a lot of features in Microsoft Office.
Yeah. Just
do
FYI.
take some bandwidth. On
Okay.
the,
Oh, well,
Okay, hold it. Wayne, we're going to go to a whole new topic here. Wayne, you had suggested something from the list, which was it how to set?
11 ways to improve Windows boot time.
Okay, thank you.
well, that's good info.
Yeah, let's get this.
Is that on the list?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. About the fourth from the bottom.
I gotta look at a different print.
You know, I don't understand why Microsoft decided that the Windows 11 browser or Windows 11 slide bars need to be so small and narrow.
You can change that.
Yeah, but why did by default? Why did they do that? It's like
Why did they do half of what they do?
I know. Okay. How to improve Windows boot time for a quicker startup. So one of the many things we could do is turn on fast startup. Now, Bob Primack will tell you don't do it, and there's a reason for not doing fast startup. Bob?
That's very edge case. If you are using Linux, for example, you don't want to have your NTFS partitions all in a locked down state. A fast startup does that. It basically doesn't quite shut down your computer. It leaves it in a hibernate, in what we used to call a hibernate or a hibernate state. And that means all the NTFS partitions are locked. At least all the ones that were mounted when you were using Windows.
Okay, so if you're booting to multiple OSs, you may not want this feature turned on. Is that correct?
Only if the other OS needs to write to an NTFS partition. I have one that's shared.
Okay, there's another reason for not doing fast startup, and what would that be?
Does
it have to do with security or?
No.
No. It would have to do with if you have a device with a battery, if the battery goes completely dead.
Okay, like a laptop?
Yeah.
I think I remember saying that it's if you do a fast startup, it did not complete download everything and saved everything. So some things would be lost if you do a fast start, from what I remember.
Yeah, to do a full shutdown and restart is necessary once in a blue moon, I'd say, for some of the housekeeping. But if you're doing like Windows updates, that works perfectly well with fast startup.
Well, I put when I go off, I put it in sleep mode.
That should work for downloading.
So they also tell you some things like change what the power button does. I don't know why that would have anything to do.
That has a lot to do with fast startup.
You mean, with fast startup it does?
Yeah.
Okay.
And changing what the power button does will change your startup time.
Okay. All right, so turning on fast startup. The other thing would be to disable some programs, if not all the programs that are starting up on when you boot up your system. Be careful on this. This can bite you in the butt, but it can also save your ass. And so they walk you through here by opening Task Manager, Startup Apps, and then you can check the impact column to check and see if there has been an impact. This is also a good place to turn off things that you don't necessarily want calling home all the time. Maybe it might be Apple iTunes Updater and you don't care about iTunes ever being updated, or a particular software that you know is no longer going to be updated for whatever reason because you didn't upgrade their licenses. So turn off updating on that so it won't bother to use cycle times. And disable those things. Disable unnecessary devices in your background or that are running in background. So you could write it, you type in Windows R, msconfig, and then tell it to go through the service tabs, hide all Microsoft services, because that's going to fill up your screen with how many Microsoft services there are. And then you can turn off specific ones by unchecking them from the checkbox.
But the issue is, what are they doing? I mean, like the one you got there, Wondershare, I have no idea if I should turn that off or not. I don't know what it means.
Well, turn it off and see if it bothers you.
I don't, but in that case, you better only do one at a time.
Yeah, I mean, you could see some things may help do something for you, some things may not. Let's say you don't use Google Chrome, you don't care about Chrome being updated. So turn it off.
Well, look, you got all these on there. Well, look right underneath it, the Dolby, DAX.
Okay, but this is this test screen here. This may not be what's going on in your system.
No, I understand that. I mean, I've looked at it and said, whoa.
I will give a word of warning. You got to know what you're doing in services, or you're going to have a big migraine headache.
Right.
Well, that was my point. I was fear of it.
Carl, you don't have enough knowledge to mess around with the services.
Just toggling startup applications off if they're on, that won't mess things up. You do not want to mess with any Microsoft services.
Correct, which is why I told you in the beginning part of that screen, hide all the Microsoft services so you're not going to mess with those.
However, there is other software you may have that you're not going to want to mess with its services either.
Yeah.
Okay.
For example, my Intel graphics, I wouldn't want to mess with that. Or Realtek Audio.
Well, again, it gets does it boot 1 second faster? It's.
Oh, graphics can take a long time to load.
Oh yeah, that I can see.
And so can sound.
Sound does take a while to load. Used to be fonts, but fonts don't take as much anymore.
Nah, fonts don't really much preload anyway.
Right, they're no longer important.
But basically, I don't have a problem now, and I've got a 6-year-old machine, so I'm not going to mess with it.
But you might want to do some system cleanup.
Yeah.
And maybe uninstall stuff you don't use.
Right, which they discuss in this article about removing bloatware that's on your system that will help speed it up. We recommend, many of us here recommend Revo Uninstaller as a product to use to remove components. It's a much better one than just the Windows uninstaller.
Sanford, I just know XDA. I have it as an app on my desktop. What is it? XDA, this app.
XDA?
Well, it's right in the bar there. Or maybe I only have it on my screen.
XDA is part of the platform on which Zoom works.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
And that's true whether you're in Windows or whether you're in Linux or whether you're on Apple Mac.
I see. Okay.
They all use XDA.
All right. What does XDA mean?
It's a way of sharing stuff from your computer to another computer, sharing your webcam, your audio, etc.
Very good. Well, I learned about share tonight. I didn't know how easy that was.
Well, even to do Zoom, even to do a remote meeting, you have to be running some kind of XDA. I think that's the one it is. Let me see whether that's XDA or XDG.
I will say that this article does go into some good stuff. This is not something very easily to gloss over. They do talk about adjusting your virtual memory. Make sure that you keep that at a good size. You should do. I don't know. In the olden days, we used to tell you to set it to a specific size.
Here's the tip.
Is still a camp to follow?
Here's a tip. Yeah, here's a tip. Now look at that screen panel of virtual memory. Down towards the bottom near, but above the OK button. You have a certain amount of memory there that's currently being used, and you also have a recommended memory. I use the current amount, and I upgrade it to the first 512 megabyte range, so that in this case here, I would take it off of automatic managing the page file and go down to custom. And in custom, there's a minimum and a maximum. I would put 2560 in as the recommended in this case, and I'd put 3072 as the maximum. That gives me a buffer of 500 megabytes if the need arises.
Is it important for the average person to manage this field?
It depends upon the user, what they're using with the system for. In some cases, you benefit from it by having a fixed size. Otherwise, this thing is constantly looking at things, and if necessary, it pulls in more memory on the drive, your SSD or a spinning hard drive. And so it's constantly going up, down, up, down, up, down. I try and keep mine at a fixed size that it's recommending I need, with a little buffer for extra space only when it's needed.
I got a question, Bob.
Yeah.
This link under the 11 ways to improve your Windows, the URL is XDA URL.
That's
Oh.
the publisher of the
That's a
article.
publisher. Yeah.
XDA is a publisher.
Is that what we're looking at, that link?
Yes, that's what we're looking at. It says XDA right up in the middle of the burgundy to black.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I was getting at.
That's the publisher.
That only came up there because we clicked on that link. It's not there just because it's Zoom.
No. I was thinking of XTG.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm easily confused.
Okay,
So am I,
along on this-
apparently.
further along in this article, it does mention about
I
scanning.
learn more things by making mistakes than just using it.
They discuss about scanning your hard drive for viruses to ensuring that your antivirus is in place. Also, defragmenting your hard drive if you have a spinner. You do not need to do defragmentation on an SSD. It's a waste of resources to do that, and just not needed. Make sure your system's up to date. Kind of a good thing. Using hibernate and sleep mode. This is a personal preference whether you want to use this or not. Specifically if you have a laptop, but it is kind of nice to have sleep mode or hibernation enabled on it, even on a desktop that you want to walk away and just let it go to sleep. But I found that those don't stay asleep very long, do they? Okay, so it's a good article. And let's go to the new subject.
On that sleep mode, my keyboard actually has a moon button in the middle of it.
Oh, good.
That turns it, that puts it to sleep, so I can just, what I typically do is I minimize any browsers, and then when I have to go away for a while, I hit that button and it just shuts down the monitor and puts the thing to sleep, and then I move the mouse or hit the space bar when I come back and it gives me a login.
Down toward the bottom of your list, you have one that's, it might even be the last one, 6 things to do every month. Could you spend just a quick minute going through that?
You want to repeat your question, Harry?
Down toward the bottom of the list of the links in that email,
Yes.
something about 6 maintenance things to do every month. Could I ask you to just quickly go through that?
Absolutely. Okay, give me a second to get there. Okay. So 6 things I do every month to maintain my rig. That's a good thing. I don't know what I do. Oh, this guy he cleans out his dust filters. He's got dust filters. Anyone got dust filters for their machines?
Nope.
Not a bad idea to vacuum those things out. Open up your box, turn it off, make sure you power it off and disconnect the power. Open up the box, take a can of compressed air, or if you have one of the vacuum air compressor machines, use one of those to blow out your PC. You want to blow the dust out of the box as much as possible. Specifically the fans, the little fans, the fans that are in over by the CPU and the GPU, those tend to get gunked up pretty quickly and easily. So those things you could do, you should do that. They say every month. I think that's, I would say once or twice a year. You should do this on a PC, at least clean it out. Maybe once a year, I would, on a desktop PC, I would take the keyboard, lift it up, turn it upside down, and shake it up and down like this over a garbage can and watch all the dirt come out of it. Definitely a good thing to do. Blow that out too.
If you're using compressed air on the fans, put a finger in the fan blade so it doesn't spin, because you can kill your fans by using high compressed air and make them turn.
Oh, I see. By making them shoot up real fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So put a finger on it and then blow it through, and then you're okay.
Okay.
It's not spinning.
Good.
Now,
Good, great information.
Another tip on that in the maintenance in cleaning. Probably at least once a year, you need to more or less remove the fan that is on the CPU heatsink, because some of the dirt and dust is going to gather in the aluminum heatsink. And the only way to get it out of there, usually in a good order, is to take the fan off, then clean it out, and then put the fan back on.
I never do
And that's
that.
usually only like 4 screws.
Yeah, by the way, with regard to filters, you can buy them. And they go inside your vents.
Hey, Tim, you brought up a point about pulling the processor off.
Fan.
The fan
Oh,
for the
you're saying remove the fan from the
CPU
heat
cooler.
exchanger. From the cooler. Okay.
Yes.
What about the paste itself from the CPU to the thermal cooler? Does that dry out or need to be replaced?
Yes, it does. Usually, thermal paste will last 3 to 5 years, but periodically you're going to need to take that off, and we're talking long time spans. Most people can't remember beyond the end of the week. So generally, you're talking like after 3 years, maybe 5 years. It depends upon the CPU you have and how much heat it generates. You got, I think, Sanford, an i7 that generates lots of heat. Okay,
Right.
so you may have to replace the thermal paste more frequently. But if somebody's got an i3 as an example, or a Pentium, a Celeron, those are very low, and that might go 5 years or more.
That's a good point. There's a couple of PCs I've never changed the thermal paste on them. I think that might be a project I have to do.
It's actually worth it because if it's dried out, you are probably running hotter than you really should be. That can shorten the life of the electronics in the CPU.
Right.
Whereas if you have a good paste under there, and I use a oil-based aluminum powder with a little bit of silver in it that I use. I don't use the stuff that looks like gray clay, and that used to be the main thermal paste. That one usually does dry out, and you don't have to put much on the CPU chip because as you put the heatsink back down on the CPU chip, it squishes outward. And so the end result is a little bit goes a long way.
That it that it does. That it does. Okay, so back to this discussion. They also talk about going into your startup folder, removing some things you don't need, defragment the drive on it, except for an SSD, updating your drivers for your GPU.
One thing about the startup folder, you can turn everything off and then reboot the computer. Anything like an AV program will automatically turn back on. Anything else that also needs to be on will usually turn on by itself. But if you see something not working, then it might be turned off in the startup folder, and you might have to manually turn that back on. But probably 50% of what's in the startup folder is automatically put there by the developer of a piece of software you have installed, and it's mostly to initialize it so that it's immediately ready to use, and for checking if there's updates and pestering you with pop-up messages. There's a new version available. Well, you don't usually need that as long as you have a maintenance program that works for keeping your software up to date anyhow, like I do.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're ready for our next topic.
I'm getting a high surf warning on north-facing shores, 15 to 20 feet.
I've got an update.
It's snowing?
No, not in Michigan yet.
Oh, okay. I thought there was another
Oh, an
gonna be another
update
update. Pete just
update.
gave us a surf warning update. So
No, I installed Office on the desktop. When it was done, it said you're all set. So I clicked that, and then I went into the start menu, and I found Word was in there, and I made a mistake. I pinned it to my start.
Yeah, you want the taskbar.
To start, but it's still in start. But I went to more, and it said allowed me to pin it to the taskbar.
Right.
Exactly.
So the question I have is, should I have it both in start and in taskbar?
It has to be both
hurt.
places.
It doesn't hurt anything.
It doesn't make any difference to your system performance. It won't launch any faster or anything. It's just for your convenience if you like it.
Okay. So
Bert wanted to add something. Bert?
Well, it's just that there's many ways to get to the programs.
Yeah.
And the people who like the taskbar, that's what I do. It's just more convenient. And I put each Office product on the taskbar, like Excel or other things, because those are the fastest way to get there. I don't use as much in the start unless it's something I don't have on the taskbar.
And the other thing that Bert brought up, there is no one way to do anything on the computer. There's umpteen different ways of doing it. You got to find your own comfort level.
There's usually.
Well, I was trying to make the distinction of start not associated with running at startup.
Yeah.
By the way, I would also recommend that now that you've installed Office, to check for updates in Office.
Yeah.
But
what you installed isn't current.
But Bert, I thought with the subscription it did it automatically.
Well, sometimes it's best to say, open up Word, and when you open it, there's an item called account on the bottom left. And when you click on that, it gives you to a place where you can do updates.
Well, you're good
Especially
point.
because you just installed it, you
Yeah.
need to do updates.
Well, wouldn't I have installed the latest?
Not necessarily. Once you get those things downloaded, they're going to be like any other app. They're going to need periodic updates.
Well, your point
I
is, well,
just had an update to Office today.
okay, how do you know when you get an update? Does it prompt you?
Usually it will, but not always.
Well, your points are well taken because with Windows automatic, you can have automatic updates with Windows itself and or automatically install or not install.
It's a question of which way you like to use the system. But
Yeah.
right now, because you just installed this program, go to Word, open, when you go to open it before you open a Word document, on the bottom left, it'll say account. Click on account.
I'm doing it as we're speaking, yeah.
When you
Yeah,
click on
yeah.
account, you'll see
Yeah.
a window comes up.
Update
There's an
op,
item there called updates.
there's update options too.
Click on updates,
Update now.
and that'll get you all your versions, even though you're doing it in Word, all the versions of Office get updated.
Well, you
All
guys
the
are,
apps.
it's actually updating.
Right.
Yep.
Very good.
So now you have a new maintenance task.
Well, now you guys are really good.
Double the money now.
Yep. Show me the money.
Show us the money. All right, more questions
Thank you.
from my list.
Thank you. Thank you.
Or does someone have a different topic they'd like us to discuss that I did not present here tonight? No.
Talk about the weather, just as for a fun thing. I was watching a view from the White House and it was snowing like crazy about 4 o'clock there. But I always thought the weather came from west to east.
There's a northern track and there's a southern track.
Oh,
Carl, with all that Earth planet stuff you're watching, you do know that we have weather that moves not just from west to east, but from east to west and from north to south.
well,
And
I did.
You know,
I
like
know-
Bob
I know-
Bob
I know.
Primack can tell you he gets easterly there. You know,
Actually, those storms, the storm moves from south to north and from west to east.
right. So they get different tracks of snow out east, just like they do in California. They get different tracks of, weather patterns, not snow, but different tracks of weather patterns out east
No,
as well as west.
A website, windy.com.
Well,
Very good website.
Windy.
Click on it once, windy.com.
Okay.
It is weather maps, and you can get everything from the particulate matter that's in there to radar to satellite views to everything else, and you can scroll up and down to actually tick in on a city block.
Okay. Does anyone else have any
Supposed to
questions?
get down to 60 degrees tonight.
Ooh, it's gonna be warm.
It's cold.
Cold. Heck, I'd be
cold.
putting shorts on and a short sleeve shirt and running around and paying homage to the heat god.
I know what it was like the first time it broke 40 in the springtime in the Chicago area. You went out in short sleeve shirts.
Right.
You lowered the windows. You turned the radios up on the car. I remember that.
Sure. Those days are gone for you, though.
That's right.
Okay. We need to stay on topic here. Has anyone got any last other questions, comments from the list I sent out?
What is that one? Gmail started hiding my emails. I mean, I don't know how that could be or what.
I have some insight into what happened there.
Okay, all right.
But
Let me
let's see what the article says.
Let's see, where is that one?
But
Gmail is hiding my emails, and
Got it.
the topic has hidden itself, of course.
I like that.
They're not really hiding, they're hiding behind tabs. But on a phone, you won't see the tabs.
Okay, so what do we got here? Okay, the problem with Gmail categories. Because they gave things labels. They were putting stuff. Bob, you want to give us a little insight into this?
There's two kind of inboxes you can have in Gmail. Just as they have a conversation view and messages, they also have an inbox that's divided by categories, which are provided by Google. I find those categories to be universally wrong. They use AI to classify your emails, and every time I get an email classified as a promotion, it turns out it's actually an important thing that I want in my inbox. And every time they say that it's an update, it's one of 7 different categories I made up. So you can actually disable this feature and have a unified inbox. That for many people becomes really cluttery. And so it'll start deciding where everything goes. Forums is the worst one for me because it always decides that one user group is a forum, another one is updates, and another one might even be promos.
Right. So they do tell you in here how to turn off this feature.
Yeah.
You go into settings, when you go into Gmail and you go to your settings, and then you'll be able to click on the radio boxes to turn on and off these particular categories. I have found this to be a pain in the backside, these categories sometimes, because I'm constantly switching from one to another.
Yeah.
And it's like, why am I bother? It's a waste of time.
Like I say, on a phone, it's even worse because you can only see one at a time.
And you are correct. You can only see one at a time. So, if this change suits you, this may be a good thing to do.
Yeah, I have my own labeling system. And because I use my own color-coded labeling system, theirs is really pretty superfluous to me.
Right.
But Bob, you label yours after the fact. After you get it, then you label it.
Yeah, but I have the equivalent of folders, what Gmail calls labels, and I apply a particular kind of label to each email as I see. Oh, this is a utility. This is medical. These are more useful categories for me.
I didn't know you could create your own categories because I'm looking at I use it and I like it, although I have to admit there are things will get in there that you have to, if you can't find something, it's probably in one of those other.
Yeah, and what this article at least gives us tells us is that we can turn those on and off, which I was not aware. Thank you for that article. I was not aware that I could turn that feature on and off in those categories, as well as the automatic sortation to them. So you could still have the categories, just not have it sorted to them, correct?
Yeah, and Yahoo has something similar, and you can also turn off the conversation mode so that emails that it thinks are part of a chain, they keep getting out of date sequence. And you can just let things go back to being date sequenced. But then you get a lot more email messages to look through.
True.
Does this suggest that you can add additional folders?
You can add your own labels in Gmail up to whatever number of colors they've got.
What item is it on your list that you're referring to?
Oh, it's not on the list. It's just a feature of Gmail.
Oh, okay.
If you're in your Google account, I'm not. But if you're in your Google account, it's very easy to point out how to make a new label, how to decide what color it is, and various other things. It really
Well,
can set off messages from each other.
No, but I thought you were talking about something different than labels. I understand labels, but I have the categories: primary, promotion, social.
Yeah, those are the things they say. Because Google decides what goes where, it can get really nasty confusing. What we in Boston call wicked confusing.
But one of the things I thought worked, but didn't seem to work very well, if you move, say something is you want it in primary, but it's in social or promote, most likely. Like I get it. So then if you move it, say move, click on that move, it'll go to primary. But I find the future ones don't necessarily go in primary.
They don't.
They won't.
The future emails go wherever Google wants to put them.
Yeah, that's yeah. I would have. Well, hopefully it gets smarter because I would think if you moved several, from one category to the next, it would get the message. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, their algorithm for this particular aspect is not as intelligent as that. And you might not want it to be so intelligent because it means it would be reading more of your mail and using more of your personal information.
Would that be under filters?
You can make filters.
But wouldn't
filters
are
like
help them
rules.
Separate stuff better or know where to put stuff?
Filters are like rules, and they will help. If you have certain keywords, certain senders, etc., you can send them directly to particular folders. But then they go out of your inbox.
Can you search across all of those if you know who the sender is, or if you know the topic and the subject? There is search across all of them.
Yes,
there is a tag called All Mail, and All Mail is searchable.
I thought primary would be the searchable one.
Primary is all your new mail. All Mail is everything, except for spam. And you can search spam if you think something might be in there too.
Oh yeah, you better do that.
Once in a while. Before the 30 days is up.
I like the feature in all fairness, Bob. I use it. I like it.
I prefer an email interface that uses actual folders.
Well, I save things in those labels. I'll move them over. Like I created one actually for CCS that reminds me when I update it. I used to always add it in my contacts, but it's better to just have a label.
Yeah, well, some people can deal with labels and sublabels. I prefer a tree structure that shows folders and subfolders. And that would be a different kind of email service.
Oh, you're not talking Google then?
No, I use Yahoo.
Oh, I used to use Yahoo, yeah.
Eventually, I think Yahoo's probably going to go away, but who knows?
Somebody bought Yahoo a few years ago. Was it one of the?
They've been bought and sold and resold about 10 times in the last 12 years. This is what makes me think they're not a really stable organization, but they're still here and they're one of the biggest.
Another topic that I see in there in your list, Sanford. I don't know why. What fonts should you use in Excel? I mean, I'm not sure I understand what difference it would make what fonts you would use in Excel. I mean, it seems kind of strange to me.
Well, why
better than others? I mean, I don't get that one.
Are you saying? Well, I guess if you let's see what this article has to say before we start stumbling over why you would want to use different fonts.
It implies like some are better or something.
Some are much more readable.
Okay, so yeah, it helps you. Oh, here's kind of the quick up here. Distinguishing between letters and numbers, it may be easier based off of the font. If you use a serif versus sans serif font, a sans serif font might be easier to see than sans serif font might be easier to see letters and numbers than a serif font. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm going into font stuff because I'm a font guy.
Yeah, in other words, the lowercase L and a 1,
Yeah.
You want to be able to tell those apart.
Yes, correct. And using narrow or condensed fonts sometimes works for you. If you have a very wide spreadsheet and you need to display more, you may need to use a font that's a little more compressed so you can get everything in there a little better. Some fonts can affect the row height. If you have a lot of descenders that it has to accommodate, a descender is like the letter G that drops below a line versus you could have a capital G that is above the line. Those kind of things affect your vertical height. So which fonts should you use? I personally would use an Arial font if I could. It's just kind of a basic one, primary distinguish. Oh, well, they kind of give you an idea here, like an Arial, an O versus a 0. It's something I never could understand except for Terminal. Terminal is the only one that gets it right. Why is it an O? A 0 does not have a line slashed through it in any fonts except Terminal.
That's the difference between programming and accounting.
I know. It's just that it is so wrong when you get a login password or something that someone sent you and it has a 0 in there versus an O. You don't know which it is, and we're making this interpretation based off of the width, the slant, or the height,
Yep.
Courier New, the O's and the 0 are practically identical. You could not tell the difference between the two. So
Sanford, I got to tell you, you use trigger words, and as you probably know, I love to talk. So the trigger word was the fonts and the 0. My email is 007.cak. And a lot of times I have to remind somebody I'm a wannabe James Bond. I'm not a 00, I'm a 00.
Yep. And capital I is the other one that gets mixed up with a 1 or an L.
Or capital L, yeah.
Yeah, well, the same thing
L.
here is, why would you, the same situation exists here with the letter L versus, capital L versus the number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Lowercase. That's a lowercase L and a capital I.
Yeah, Courier New right there. There is no difference between those lowercase L and number 1.
That's right.
I mean,
yeah,
a bunch of them. Okay.
So I guess this kind of answers the question, why does it matter which font you use? Because it does matter in readability. And some fonts are more readable than others based off of what the situation is.
The fonts that resemble handwriting are the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And especially true on the watches, like the smart watches, because you got, limited space, and it makes a difference.
I'm going to refer to that website because I like the examples they give right in there.
Those are great examples that they gave there. It is so, when you opened the question, Dennis, you said, why should I be concerned? And one look and you were like, oh, now I understand.
Yeah.
And there is a reason to be concerned because you can eliminate misinterpretation.
Well, Sanford,
not have a spacecraft that flies into the moon instead of around the moon.
Well, that was a matter of metric versus English units.
Yes, Carl.
Is this your list, Sanford? Did you make the list up?
Well, you're talking about this list for this meeting?
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't say I didn't originate the content there. Tim is the one who provides me the content. I just go and I harvest his emails and I see if I come up with some on my own and I supplement it and send it out.
Well, curious minds wants to know. I mean, that's a pretty, I wouldn't know where to begin to do something like that. I'm very impressed.
I think that's something you could have a conversation with Tim about on how he comes up with that FYIs every month. And he could spend a couple of months talking about it.
Kudos to Tim.
If you have the curiosity,
that's
and
right.
You have the mindset, and you've trained yourself to look on the web and to do what Tim does. He does tabs for everything. endless tabs coming out.
Endless tabs. He's a miracle worker when it comes to coming
This
up.
is where all these URLs come from and where all the articles get
That's right.
listed from.
And we say thank you, Tim, for putting that and providing that information to us so we can have a meeting tonight.
And it's an amazing use of a Chromebook.
Yes.
Very good.
Okay. Is there any last questions for anybody?
Good show. Great program.
Okay. Thank you all, and thanks for coming. And Tim, do you have any announcements you'd like to make?
Well, next Tuesday night is South Suburban. Not this week's Thursday, but the following Thursday is the Northwest Computer Club. And 2 weeks from tonight is the Lennox SIG.
Sanford, why don't you bring up the poster that you made?
I didn't because we haven't gotten approval on it yet.
It's approved.
Okay. Well, okay. I can let me take a step back. You will be getting in an email a more or less a poster that has been created that we're encouraging members to go to their local library or their place of worship, or their community centers, or their if they live in an assisted living place, in one of their community rooms there, that they could post it. And basically, it's an advertisement for the society. It's to let people know that we're here and that we have regular meetings. And I have on there the list of when the meetings occur, and they can contact Beata to get on our mailing list. And it's to let people know that we're here. So be anticipating to see this PDF come to you. It's a one-page document where you do ask that you print it out and take it to your local library to have or local place, and see if they'll post it up there for other people to come and join our group.
Good
And
idea.
of course, you can use it for yourself as a reminder when the meetings are.
Very true, because I do list when the meetings are in there. You do need to get the emails from us on a regular basis. Members receive emails on a regular basis. If you're not a member, Beata will send you a few courtesy ones to encourage you to come to the meetings. In the emails, you get the links to the actual meeting themselves, because we do change the keys to get in to our meetings periodically.
Quick question, did your subscription end when you started, or is it a calendar event?
Bert?
When Beata bills you, that's when you renew.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Carl, if
example,
you have more
my
questions on that, you need to talk to Beata, who is our administrator. You know,
Sounds like a political answer to me.
well, because this is not our function here.
for me, mine comes in the spring. Other people get theirs in September.
Right, mine comes in the fall, and it's not something I really track. It's just
The dues are based on when you joined, and it gets repeated, so it's not the same for everybody.
okay.
There's different dates for each
You
person.
answered my question. I couldn't resist comment, that's all.
Back when there were in-person meetings, it was common for people to join in September or October.
Right. Okay, with that, I'd like to say thank everybody for coming, and I will stop the recording.
I will say a